This is actually a big thing because I noticed this a lot. Like when I was climbing out of Archon and Legend and stuff like that, like players had kind of
Happens a lot.
yeah, they had no sense of, okay, I'm winning, but I can't just go like full out all the time because I'm going to throw. Like they have no conception of how they're going to throw their lead, right?
Yeah.
They just push it as far as they
Yes.
can until they feed on high ground, and then they lose the match and they're like, why did we lose? We were winning all game, you know? It's because of stuff like that.
Yeah. So I have to give them something on the map if I'm
Oh,
right.
that's how much gold you fed, bro. You got to give them something. Yes, that's the lesson. Yeah. Yeah. So
Like
you,
the tower on top, maybe when I'm too ahead or something like that. When he's like behind
what's that? Say again.
on the DK, like when
Mm-hmm.
he was like behind in the lane, I need to give him something so I don't like
No,
throw the
no.
lead away.
When we're talking about the lane phase, that's where you do want to extend your lead as much as possible
So it's
because
like when I have like winning streak or when I have like too high levels or like when's the point when I give them something?
yeah, okay, good question. So the point at which you start being a little bit more conservative is going to be roughly in the mid game, right? So you have to start thinking like, you know how you're like your death timers increase as you get higher level, right? So
Yeah.
at this point of the game, I'm a Lina, I'm rocking, and you know that because if you do you check the scoreboard at all while you're playing?
Mm,
I mean, you look up
no,
here, right?
I don't do it.
You see the score up here and stuff like that. But I would get in the habit of every now and then check the scoreboard, right?
Mm,
And then you can be like, oh shit, I'm 3 levels ahead of their top guy, and I only died twice. And I feel like my net worth is pretty good right now, right? Like my item timings feel good. I'm super built. I mean, it's 23 minutes and you have Scythe Device and Silver Edge and bots. You know what I mean? In like a bad AM game, he might end up getting his Battle Fury at 20 minutes.
mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that happens to me a lot.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. So you know that if like 3 minutes difference off of that is huge. Like you are super far ahead right now.
yeah.
Um,
If I got the item 3 minutes later, I would have everything slow down a lot.
right. I mean, right now, so let's say, uh, so before you die, you are 7K ahead of their top player, right?
Oh, okay.
Um, and you can't know this while you're playing, but you just have to get a sense of it. You got to look at their
Yeah.
level. You got to look at their, you know, your level, their levels. Look at your items, being like, what time are we in the game? You know what I mean? I'm level X now. If I die, my respawn timer is going to be kind of long, right?
Yeah.
I would say actually, just playing in this area at this stage of the game is super risky. So let's play it out. Like before we even got here, you TP top. Okay, you run straight to the fight. This is super risky doing this kind of thing. And yeah, you're owning, but like you've lost Primal Beast, you've lost Weaver, you've lost AA now. This is just your team overextending a little bit, and that's not your fault. But if you show up and overextend with them, then you're gonna end up losing these games, right? Like if your teammates do this same mistake and they overextend because they feel like they're awesome or whatever, oh my god, we're winning, we can do anything, and then you just feed into it as well, you're just
Mm.
gonna end up losing. And realistically, like I would not be here. I think I would
So the
maybe.
advice,
What's that?
so the advice is like I have to not play like my teammates.
Uh, okay. Let me back it up because your original question was, at what
Yeah, how to
point
win and stuff.
when do we start being conservative, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That would be as soon as we notice that we are ahead.
Yeah, okay.
As soon as we
But
notice
but
that
then
we're
it
the
would
highest net
apply to
worth.
the DK, no? Like because I was ahead even in the DK.
But your lead is not so massive that it's going to
Mm.
swing the entire game if he kills you.
So it has to be like massive or something like
It's
that.
got to be decent.
Like
Yeah.
it has to like feel like decently like good.
Yeah.
Like Okay.
And this gets less important depending on what role you are. So if you're position 5, you don't care about dying to kill someone. Like almost any trade in the game is good for you as a 5, even unless you're super far ahead or something like that. Generally, you don't care about trading. As a position 1, every single death needs to be thought about, and you need to
Mhm.
be thinking about it really hard. Like, okay, I died here. Was that my fault? Why? What did I do wrong? You know, should I just not have come to this fight? Did I screw up my spells? Did I buy the wrong item? Whatever. You really need to think super hard about every single death you have, because
Mhm.
you're the core of the team as position
And
1.
and supports don't much. Like they
Supports aren't
have way
worth
less.
anything. I mean, you know, like if the witch doctor dies right now to kill you, do you think he's sad about that?
Isn't that kind of unfair?
It
That
is.
like supports like can die in the game of Dota, the carries can't, and
um,
everybody's trying to kill them,
I suppose
but
you could say it's
nobody
unfair.
cares about supports.
Yeah, you could say it's unfair, but it is just the nature of the game, right? Like Dota is hierarchical. Somebody gets all the gold and the XP. The way the game has developed and the way it's designed is such that both teams are going to have like a couple heroes, and they're going to have a bunch of like side characters, right? It's just sort of the
And
nature of it.
and then in late game they just buy their shards and they deal same amount of damage as the cores.
Well, that might be an exaggeration. But the point here, right? The point here is like, you know, Witch Doctor trading to kill anybody that's higher net worth than him, he'd be happy with it, or he should be happy with it, right? You have to think
Yeah.
super hard about whenever you die, because you know you're ahead. All you got to do is this. Is it? Just got to do this. Look at the levels. All right, am I the highest level on my team? What's their highest level? 17?
Okay.
Okay, this is all you got to do. If you look
Yeah.
here, look at the score, you do this, check this, get an idea. It can be okay to show up to this fight, but you need to think really hard about how far you push this. Like, you got the kill, okay? All right, I'm playing careful. Okay, Lycan's up behind me. I've now surrounded myself. At this point, once I see the Lycans behind me, I have the Ursa close to me and DK's over here. I am thinking about getting out right now. And maybe, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have come here.
Maybe even sooner.
Yeah, right? Like pushing past this point is perhaps all the mistake is. Like killing the witch doctor, fine. Going a little bit further, maybe that's where the mistake starts. So right here, I'm running to the right. I'm probably tread switching the Vambrace and running to the right, because this is not a good position for me to be in as a ranged squishy hero, to be surrounded by 3 strength heroes, you know, that can catch me and can chase me. Like you flanked yourself, right? So step 1 is, do we show up at all? Step 2 is, how far do we push it? How hard do we commit to this fight at all? Because this is, remember, this is the point roughly where the game changes. Around 20, you guys evened out. Around here, this is where the throw happens. So remember I was talking about, like,
Yeah.
we're going to look for the throw? Like, this is actually it. This is the point. So, and the reason why this is a big deal, because once you die, you feed 1,000 gold to this dude, right? Which might
Yeah.
get him to his next core item. You fed 700 gold to everybody that got an assist, and you gave a ton of XP. So if we look at the XP real quick, let me put this in 1x. Hero level. Come on, Invisbuck. So annoying. See. So Lycan, let's see. Lycan was 17. DK was 13, right? What's up?
Yeah. So how does the game like recognize it's throwing on that specific spot? Like, do they recognize it based on like the levels?
Are you talking about how does it calculate
Yeah.
these graphs?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how it does win probability. Um, that it's probably going to take from lots of data about all the different matches and stuff like that. It's going to say like, oh, well, when you have a Lina versus an Invoker at this stage of the
Mm,
game, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be
yeah.
factoring in net worth and levels and stuff like that, right? So you guys had, at this point, like an 85, 90% chance to win this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever happened around like on the 20-minute mark was the start of it, and then this was the kind of the final nail. So, but just to illustrate this point a little bit, Lycan is 17, DK is 13, DK is 14 now. All right, DK leveled up twice and Lycan leveled up twice. So you fed two levels
DK
each to
went
2 cores.
from DK went from 14 to 16.
14
Yeah.
to 16.
Nice.
Yeah, because you were that
And
far ahead. And Lycan
17
went
to
from 17 to 19, right?
nice.
Yeah, nice. And you fed 1,700 gold. So, hey, what's up, sweet? I'm streaming, by the way, as you know. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I hope that illustrates it. I hope that illustrates like how bad that death actually is, right? And now here's
So
the important thing as well: is when you died, you had an 82. Let's see, 82-second respawn time.
Mhm.
All right, 85 seconds. We don't have buyback. So if I'm the enemy team and I see Lina's just died, this is my chance to go actually start winning. Like, this is when I can be like, all right, guys, can we do Roche? Can we take this tower? Can we get vision in our jungle? Like, whatever the hell it is that they want to do, they can now do it because you're off the map and your team is all dead, right? And this is why when you get super far ahead, you need to be really careful about losing the next fight because it just like rubber bands, you know? They just bounce back. If you're super far ahead and you lose, they actually just catch up. I mean, like if you look at the net worth advantage, like right here, it's 10K for your team.
So, would you say that as carry to win games, you would rather play very bad, like very poorly, but not die, than like be ahead and then die 1 or 2 times or
Yeah, I
something
think
like
so. Actually, that's probably an interesting way of looking at it. If I play a carry match and I don't die for the entire match, I will eventually hit level 30 and I will eventually hit my item timings,
So isn't
right?
it like the easiest like to climb with carries because you just like if the carry role has like any impact on the game, isn't it like let's not do anything? Let's not do anything in the game and just not die and then you win?
uh, if you can find a way to have that happen in every single match, then yes, that is the answer. Like if I
Because
can never die, then I can never lose, right? I mean, obviously the rest of your team can die, you
because
know.
like if it's even if this is like more impactful than like doing stuff in the game and dying 1 or 2 times, then
Yeah, you're right. Maybe we're taking this a little bit to the extreme.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm not sure even.
Well, I mean, because what I was saying, like if we never die, then we never lose. That's not true, right? Because if you buy a shadow amulet and then blink into the trees and sit here for 60 minutes,
Yes.
you're not going to win the game, right?
Yeah, so you have to do
You
something,
got to do
but
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
you still
absolutely.
have to prioritize like to not die,
Yep.
like over even like being 2 times ahead of levels. It's still way worse than just dying 1 time.
Think of it like a poker game, right? Or something like that, or craps or any gambling. Um, how far are you going to push it and lose everything? You know, are you going to all in? Like,
But I
you know,
respawn. At some point I will respawn though.
you do.
Mm.
Yes, that's true. But your currency here is not money, but it's momentum in the match. So,
Momentum.
does that make sense? And what that
I'm
means
not
is
thinking.
it's
I'm not sure.
okay. So what I mean by that is if I'm alive, I get to make decisions. I get to do things. If I'm alive and I'm ahead, I get to influence what the enemy team can do. So if all 5 of us are alive and all 5 of them are alive and we're 10k up, and they cannot just walk in and kill Roche, right? Because there's the risk that we all show up and kill them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they cannot just run down the lane. They can't run down all 3 lanes and kill all our towers because we'll kill them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then while they're dead, we'll take their towers and we'll get more out of it than they got out of it because they're dead and can't do anything, right? So the point is, while you're dead for 85 seconds, you are giving them an opportunity to go do whatever they want because you're most of your team's power level. So you're worth 19k right now. Okay? Your lead is 11k. So about half of your net worth is your team's net worth advantage. And if you look here, right? So yeah, about 10, 11k, yeah. You're about like, I don't know. If it was just you in the game, your net worth would be all the way down here, right? So you're like a significant portion of your team being ahead right now. Not necessarily the reason your team is ahead, but like your team being ahead means like this is how big you are, right? Or you're this big, that means your team is this far ahead. So basically, what you were saying is like if you can play carry, isn't it easier to rank up? In some ways, yes, because if you can get good at this decision-making process where you're able to get ahead and then you're able to not throw the lead, yeah, you're gonna win games. This is the hard thing about trying to rank up as a support, is that you only have about 15 minutes where you have like a big influence and then you're just helping out and it becomes up to the other players to win the game for you, right?
But the other players are not able to do moves because if they do moves, they will die. So who's gonna do the moves then? If not supports, I don't know. Like in the late game, who's gonna do the moves?
Who's going to do the moves?
Like
Your
carries
cores.
will, yeah.
It hands off. It becomes your cores, right? So it's
But
going
they
to
cannot
be...
do it. If they do moves, they might die though. Like there's some chance they will die.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so maybe we need to only think about this in context, because if you put it in those terms, it sounds like, well, any decision I make is wrong, right? It's not what I'm saying.
The probable, like if it has some chance of dying, it shouldn't be made, right? Like on course, because then you die and it's way worse than like not doing anything for 10 minutes maybe.
Okay, let's boil down Dota to the essentials, right?
Yeah. Okay.
If you take no risks ever, you lose by default, because that means you're gonna like sit in the trees and just stay alive.
It, maybe.
Right?
So in late game, it should be like small steps.
Yes.
To win.
Small steps sometimes.
It's like if you do big steps, you cannot do that because you're usually big steps like you're risking, right? On course.
It's a game of risk management. Literally everything you do in the game is going to be a risk because you have to take a risk to gain anything. You can't even at level 1, when you show up to the lane and you go try and last hit a creep, you are actively taking a risk. The difference is
you have to find like low risk plays that has high rewards,
yes.
Which is like finding maybe like unicorn in the forest.
No, not necessarily, because this is why you need information. So Dota is all about resources and information, right? I mean, you know this. You've gotten to Archon. You know wards are important. You know net worth's important, right?
I usually don't gain like the most reward by and low risk at the same time. It's usually like the opposite. Either it's like high risk.
So I guess what I'm trying to say here is you can't win if you don't take any risks, but that doesn't mean you need to be taking massive risks all the time. You need risk mitigation. You need to decide what is going to be good risk reward for you. So in this instance, right? So let's just back it up. So before you even show up to this fight, so you're down here, right? Let's just take it from here.
Okay.
What decisions could you have made here?
I'm not sure. Probably help them mid.
No. Think about everything you possibly
I get-
could have done.
Help them mid after I get the charges.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Can't think of anything else you could have done here? There's a ton of things you could do. It doesn't have to be fighting the enemy team, by the way.
Keep pushing.
Yeah. But what else could you
It's
do?
bad fight. Yeah, and keep. Yeah, and then it depends on what enemies do. I guess I don't.
It always depends, but I'm just saying, give me as many options as you can in this scenario.
I can rotate, make circles on the ground,
Yeah.
and say you spin my head round, and then
Serious options, though.
I can take. Well, I don't know. I gave you serious ones, so I can
Switch the
do
lane,
other
show up to
stuff.
the fight.
Yeah,
You could
take an
go.
post.
You could keep farming. You could take this wave. You could go back to your own triangle. You could just farm like this. You could TP like you did, and run straight
Yeah.
here. You could just run straight here. You could push the lane and then start hitting the barracks. You could run straight to Roche and try and solo it.
Yeah, I can solo rush easy.
That's a legitimate option then, right?
Yeah.
You
I
could,
can go hit, kill Urza. I can kill Volker.
yeah, you could TP top. You could fight Ursa.
Help Farmodi. Take everything from him.
Yeah. The point being is that you have
I-
like 7 options that could result in something good for you.
I can fight with my courier.
What do you mean?
I can send him to battle.
You could do that. But serious options though. I mean things that you would actually consider doing. You know?
It can mislead enemies and their focus,
Maybe.
and they will have to hit it.
Maybe.
They will not kill my teammates.
Actually,
Next
not even kidding. That is something you can do. But I mean, with your hero stuff, you can.
I can
do.
ward also.
Yeah,
But
you
I
could
just
ward.
buy it right now.
Yeah, you could ward.
Yeah, I can also buy Tomb and be one more level ahead. So if I die, they will get even more out of me.
Could do that too.
But I will not die.
Yes. So, but the point is though, for real though, the point is that you have lots of options available to you, and this isn't one that you needed to make. Like if you don't show up to this fight, and they kill your whole team, how bad is it?
Pretty bad.
Is it though?
Yeah, I will lose something. It's pretty bad. It's kind of late. I don't
It's
know.
bad, but like I mean, think about it. Are they going to take your Rex? Are they going to end the game? Are they going to immediately Roche?
Well, it stops me from farming.
A little bit. You can't farm wherever you want to, but
Yeah, they
you
will
still
take
farm a little bit.
Roche.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of annoying for me.
Let me tell you what I would have done, and maybe this will help
Okay.
a little bit, right? Clear this wave, TP to this creep right here, and then I would have walked down here and I would have hidden the trees. And then I can watch the fight and be in position to actually help. This is like not hard committing to the fight. It's just playing the outside. It's being ready to jump in if it looks good.
Yeah.
Right?
And I just ran like a Rambo or something. Or
Yeah. So imagine that you
I
did
died.
that, right? Imagine clear this wave. That creates lane pressure. Great. TP here. And you path like this. And you hide over here kind of next to your
I didn't
AA.
even TP. Okay.
Right? And you're chilling here. You know, you could start punching this DK when you want to. You'd be in position to stun this Witch Doctor if you want to. You can fight this Lycan. Or you can say, you know what, this fight looks stupid. I'm just going to clear the wave and then back up into their jungle and keep farming.
Can you rewind again?
Yeah, sure. Where do you want to go to? Back to here?
And I was farming bottom and just show the camera on mid.
Okay.
And click on my hero just like one time. Like, yeah. Okay. And now press play, please.
Are you thinking about your Fiery Soul stacks?
Yeah, maybe rewind one more time. Like 20 seconds or something. Yeah, and click on me again.
Yep.
Yeah. Fiery Soul stacks. 50 HP. Yeah. So I cannot keep you on the street because.
Sorry, it's hard to hear you. What'd you say?
I'm thinking like
Okay.
it was pretty difficult to like the TP to the creeps for me because like, I needed again the fiery stacks kind of thing in my head, and then the creeps were like dying.
You mean TP to middle?
It was kind of like awkward to like it. I would have to be like fast, and then still it's kind of scary. And it still has to like be like I don't have all the vision for it. It's scary.
Well, all right, you got 7 stacks. You could TP right now. You'd be
I
fine.
don't have the vision on the heroes. It's like both vision.
You do. You do.
Yeah?
So you see DK, you see Invoker, you see Witch Doctor on a ward, you see Ursa top. You have pretty good vision. The only person you can't see is Lycan.
So I would have to TP right now to hit it, and it would have to be on the range creep.
Not necessarily.
And if I missed it, because like the other creeps would be like scary. Maybe the last melee creep, but it's hard to target it. So actually, it's like if I missed it, then I wouldn't have travels.
Maybe. But let's see. Because this is the thing, right? So while you are farming, you can be thinking about this. So like right now, you know, nothing's going on. You can be farming and you can be thinking about like, okay, so my team is kind of pressuring middle right now. And I see an Ursa. So I see 3 enemy heroes. I see 2 of my heroes. Odie is dead. 2 of their heroes are dead. If a fight starts with Weaver and AA, like, do I want to show up to this fight? How would I show up to this fight? Would I TP under their tower? Would I wait for this wave and TP on this wave? Would I just walk here? Would I Silver Edge to get here faster? I mean, yeah, just think about it, right?
Yeah,
and
this is
the stuff, like, when you're smacking creeps, you don't need to be thinking about smacking these creeps, right?
Yeah.
You can be thinking about what your next move is going to be. So, I mean, even as simple as like, do I want to bother clearing this wave? Do I want to show that I'm down here right now? Because if I show that I'm down here, that might give them the idea like, oh, we can kill Weaver because Lina's not here. You know, that
they can kill him without
maybe, but it's just something like the stuff that you can be thinking about, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, like right now, you can be thinking, okay, Primal Beast just spawned. Like, you're just watching the map. While you're doing this, just watching the map. Primal Beast is walking middle. Looks like they kind of want to fight. Maybe I TP middle now?
I don't have the stats.
What's that?
I think I have seen that I don't have the stacks, I think. So I've seen that.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true, but you can also get the stacks pretty fast in the fight. Or, I mean, you know, you could TP over here and then you could walk here and get the stacks off this camp or something, right? Like, it's not super duper like, it's not like you can't fight if you don't have Fiery Soul stacks. You just kind of want them before you start. But you gain them in the middle of the fight, right?
Nah, I think you need them, like on Lina, you need them.
Okay.
Them, you don't hate them.
Alright.
It's like Lina thing. If you don't have them, you deal 0 damage.
Well, I wouldn't agree with 0 damage.
Like even 7. Yeah, like it's really like 0 because like everything is you need the attack speed to hit.
Okay. Well, I mean, let's see. Fiery Soul stacks last 18 seconds. So 18 seconds after you cast a spell, that's how much time you have to make the decision then. If you want to look at it that way. And if you do feel like Fiery Soul stacks are that important to you, then it might be worth saving creeps nearby to get stacks. Like actually farming a little bit slower just so you have the ability to get stacks before you go, right? If you feel like that's critical.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The point is that we're thinking ahead. We're trying to think about like which fights are we going to show up to? What am I going to do next? Where am I going to farm? What's the next objective, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I know it's hard. I know a lot of it sounds contradictory, but that's because everything's contextual, you know? The rules change as the game goes on.
Yeah.
Right? Dying level 1, not the end of the world. Dying level 22 or 21, kind of hard on your team, right?
So it's something like if I'm ahead and it's more into the late game, it should be less of like plays that are risky.
Yes. Yep. Yep. The longer the game goes...
On position 1 only.
I would say on any hero, but especially on position 1, the longer the game goes, the more calculated you need to be.
Especially on the better, the higher the lower the tier position is, like the higher the position.
Yeah,
basically the 1, 2, 3.
I mean, dude, like even position 5, like I have thrown games by dying as a position 5 because it was an hour-long match.
Don't bullshit me.
No,
Don't
absolutely.
bullshit.
Think about it, dude. If you're freaking a silencer and you get caught out of position an hour into a game and you die without buyback, and then your team doesn't have your ultimate and you weren't there to stop the Enigma black hole, like, yeah, it always matters. It matters more the higher up in farm priority you are.
Like not stopping shoot, but like dying, they dying 10 to 20 times every game on supports.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people suck. They feed too much. Sometimes it's okay. It's, you know, sometimes it's okay to die as a carry too. It just depends on like how much you got out of it. You know, if you killed all 5 heroes and then died to Rashawn at the end of it, is that bad? Like, yeah, that's pretty good. You killed all 5 heroes. You know, if you kill 4 of them and then the witch doctor kills you at the end of the fight, like, do you call that a bad fight? Like, that seems okay to me. Aha. Okay, this is the next one. So here's another one. So you have like no vision on the map besides here, right?
Yeah.
And Rashawn is still up. That's also another thing you need to be thinking about. Whenever Roche is up, it needs to be in the back of your brain. Like, can the enemy team do Roche? Can we do Roche? Like, this Rashawn factors into every decision you make. Once one team has the ability to kill him, it's always a decision point. Okay? Especially against comps that are good at killing Roche, you know, like Ursa, Lycan, anything with armor reduction, Dragon Knight, he can tank the Rashawn, right? Like, they can kill Roche. You guys can kill Roche too, no problem. It's an objective for both teams. So what I would say here, why I'm talking about this, is because you're farming bottom, right? But there is a relevant objective. And if you come down here and you can't TP up here, they could just sneak it, right? A fight could start over here or whatever, and you wouldn't be able to rotate to it. So you actually really need to start anchoring yourself.
Yeah, it's their Roshan basically. We have too many people that.
Maybe. I mean, you still do a crap ton of damage, and you have Scythe. Like, you're still a big threat. This is why this is important. Like, they could do Roche right now, but they probably don't feel super safe doing it because they don't know where you are. They don't know where OD is. Like, you guys have a Primal Beast, you have an AA who's about to respawn, you know, the Weaver can buy back. Like, you guys threaten Roche, and you threaten their ability to do Roche, so they're not just doing it because you're alive. And actually, Ursa hasn't been able to do it all game, and that's because you guys have been playing high tempo, right? This is the effect of being ahead. The enemy team doesn't get to do.
Just hit it, though.
He can, but he's not. He's not doing it. Why isn't he doing it? Because he doesn't feel safe. Right?
It's his thing. Like, he can feel safe. Like, I cannot stop him.
But what I would say here, being in this area of the map by yourself, this is throw territory.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah.
You know, you're strong, but you're not that strong. Now you're dead for 85 seconds again. I'm really focusing on this because it seems like you're really good at Lina, but your ability to like...
Only Lina.
What's that?
I play only Lina.
Yeah, well, it's paying off. Lina's a strong hero right now. It seems like mechanically you have the gist of it. But if you're gonna play carry, you do need to be thinking like really hard about this stuff. It's important for every hero, but especially for carry. You know, like what objectives are coming up? Where do I need to be? How important is it that I'm alive? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we're down to a 2k net worth advantage. We were at 11k. Right? Out here, like, this is kind of okay, but it's still risky. The way you're pathing is just super YOLO all the time. Like, I don't know if I'd be going through the river here. It's so easy for Ursa to just blink on your ass right now, you know what I mean? If he wants to.
Yeah.
I mean, you do see other heroes in other parts of the map. It's not the riskiest play in the world. And you have heroes nearby. But it's just this kind of like general kind of oof. It's just being a little bit too
Oh, hello, Ricky the Enigma combo.
it's being a little bit too careless, right? Like being up here, just you're farming. You know, no vision. You know, their Ursa and their Witch Doctor kill you both easily. Yeah, you know, should OD be astraling you? Probably. Should AA be standing right next to you? I don't know. It looks like he's dewarding. Should you be farming here? I would say no. You have no vision. There's no reason to farm here. You can farm on your vision. You can go top. You can get this rune. You can farm up here. You can start doing Roche. Like, there's just no reason to be here. It's too risky. Right?
I still want to kill that camp. I would kill it from the right side.
That's true. I mean, that is a way of negating some of the risk. You can farm it over here. I mean, shit, you could farm it from the river. You have enough range, right? Light Strike gives vision. Like, you could have done this in a less risky way. Could have also not done it at all. That would have been not taking this risk, you know? I don't want to make you, like, scared to make any decisions. But I do want to highlight that the last 3 times you've died, it's because you overextended. And kind of looks like you're just like, fuck it, I'm going to kill him. And you're not really thinking about what happens. Now you're dead again, he gets the Roche, and now you guys are in a tough spot, right? He was not able to Roche for 30 minutes as an Ursa because you guys were winning. And now he can, right? Not trying to make you feel bad. I'm hoping this is illustrating the point.
Yeah.
Alright. We can run the rest of it through. Because I think that's... everything else from here is going to be kind of just playing the game out, right? You are going for BKB. Alright. I was going to say, you probably do need a BKB this game. Yeah, man, it's like when you do take the right play, you tend to outplay these guys and kill them. It's just picking the right fights. What's that?
I'm dead again.
Yeah, but you killed them. So, you know, not the end of the world. And also, you died when Roche wasn't available, so it becomes less bad, right?
Yeah.
It's always contextual. Very few things are just right or wrong, you know? There's like good, better, bad, worse. You know, I'd say like right now, like this is insane that you're this far out. Like you see them all now, but we didn't see them a minute ago.
Yeah.
I'm mainly just watching the minimap, actually.
Why?
Because that's all the information I need. I mean, this is like Like, I can look at, like, the spell casting and stuff like that, right? But it's kind of boring. I mean, it's just Lina clicking on stuff. There's not much to analyze there. The main thing is, like, where are you making moves in relation to where your team is and where their team is, you know? Like, where are the arrows going? Where are the circles going? If you look at the mini-map. You know, how much are you walking around with no vision? You know, I mean, if we were flipping it and we were doing a replay review for this Lycan, I would say the same thing to him. Why are you farming their triangle solo when you guys are up 16k? I would say the exact same thing to this Lycan. Right?
Yeah. Because, yeah.
There's no reason for it.
Yeah.
It's so greedy for him to be doing this right now. You know, Witch Doctor's dead. Ursa's up here. Invoker's over here. Dragon Knight's up here. And what's he getting out of it? A jungle camp?
Yeah.
You know, is that worth?
Archon's man.
You know, is that worth being dead for 95 seconds? If you could farm one camp every 95 seconds, would you say that's good? And he gives up 1,400 gold?
Yeah.
I hope that illustrates the point. Yeah.
Don't be Lycans, be smarter.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I hope that's helpful. Again, I think your mechanics and all that stuff is good. The way you play Lina is good. It's just that I think and I've only watched one game, so I don't know. Maybe this game's an outlier. We might need to look at other games. But from what I can see in this game, your ability to switch your brain into now we're in mid game, now we're in late game, that's the thing to work on. Like, you need to realize, like, when am I ahead? And when do I need to start being a little bit more calculated? Maybe not take every risk that's available. I need to be thinking about what the risk reward is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also the other tip, right? To check, am I ahead? Look at the score at the top. Check your level. Check the enemy's level. Check your score. Think about your item timings. Like, do you feel like you're super fed at any part of the game? You're probably ahead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if that was helpful, don't forget to leave a like and comment down below if you had any questions. And I do more coaching sessions on this channel. Check out the playlist. And I stream every weekday at Mistrip TV. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.